India is on an election trail to the United States. My colleague Shubhendu Ghosh is in Atlanta in the swing state of Georgia. In fact, in Georgia, and he scans through some of the prominent newspapers and takes us through the latest developments in the political contest for the White House.
We are at the beautiful Emory University campus here in Atlanta. Behind me, you can see the sports arena. A football match is underway. The other sports also being practiced there. Let's turn to the newspapers of the day and the big stories related to the election. I'm looking at the USA Today first. And the article on the front page tries to capture the palpable tension in the air as we approach November 5th. It says the United States of anxiety and lists all the reasons why it is so. 2 assassination attempts, a last-minute candidate switch, war in the Middle East, border issues, dire prediction of dictatorship, death threats against election workers. Those are some of the reasons why the tensions and concerns have been on the rise as far as this election is concerned. What this article does is that it surveys views of ordinary voters about how they're feeling about the election day. The next article from the same newspaper, we turn to the opinion page. It's interesting because there are 2 articles here, one supporting why Kamala Harris deserves to be the next president, and the second one about why Donald Trump might get all the support. The first one, it's written by Sarah Pequeno. She's a columnist with the newspaper. The headline reads, "With abortion rights on the line, we can't afford a Trump win." So the heart of this election, the issue of women's rights, especially vis-a-vis abortion, makes it very, very crucial, according to the writer, that the women voters and others who support women's rights must stand up with Kamala Harris. We turn to the next opinion article. It is by Nicole Russell, and she says, it's interesting, she says, "I dislike Trump, but I'm still voting for him." And she lists the reason why it's so. And she says that it would have been better if Republican Party had come up with another presidential candidate. But when she compares Donald Trump with Kamala Harris for various range of issues, she thinks Donald Trump may be the right choice to become the next president. And she talks about the various key themes, why it is so. She talks about the foreign policy is one issue in which she thinks that Donald Trump coming into the office could change the manner in which the conflicts are headed ahead. The economy, which is a common concern for all sections of society. And finally, the border security. And she says that Donald Trump has shown and spoken that he can handle all of these issues better than Kamala Harris. So the next paper I'm looking at is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. On the front page, an issue that is making news, especially in the run-up to the main election day, the controversy around voting fraud. It says the 2020 election fraud claims persist, but most are debunked. Instead of confirming a conspiracy, investigators have just shown that there have been some isolated cases of errors in the vote counting and other processes, not a fraud, election fraud that Donald Trump had spoken about in 2020. Those were some of the big stories in the newspapers today. With camera person Jay Shankar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DT India in Atlanta.